Hello, and welcome to another edition of our Conversation With on CUTV. I'm your host, Gary Smith, and on today's show, I'm overjoyed to be bringing on one of our favorite guests here at CUTV and one of our favorite students and people out in the world, Mr. Tampa Beck, Mr. Danny Beck, working with the NFC champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Danny, welcome. Thank you for taking some time out this morning because I know your week's a little busy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that intro was awesome. That's cool to have my name attached to NFC champion. So it's pretty crazy stuff.
Well, usually this would be the part of any show we would take a couple minutes to talk about where you came from. But I feel like our audience has seen you grow up from a young freshman running camera in the Rain at Clarion to an anchor on the news center to sports producer, sports announcer, editor of the Times, and now doing great work in Tampa Bay. But if you just want to briefly say what exactly you're doing with the NFC champion Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so I'm a video producer. So basically all the stuff on social media, on our website, all the way to YouTube, all those other things. So we shoot that, we edit it. I'm on a team of 5 people, including me. 6 with my boss as well. And so we go out to every game. We shoot. Whether it's on the sidelines or now it's called the operational zone, which is the first row of bleachers in the stands. We do those. We shoot features when we were allowed into the facility. Now we only have one person in the facility. But before, in the beginning half of the season, I would be in there as well. So we would do any player features, interviews, all of those different things. Basically just to get the excitement up around the team. And now it seems like we don't have to do too much of it because the team on the field is excelling quite a bit. So our job is a little bit easier. We just have to kind of document everything that's going on, and it's just getting sweeter and sweeter.
And the crazy thing is, I mean, obviously 2020 was a crazy year, changing everything about the world we live in, but especially in sports production, sports broadcasting, sports fandom. Some stadiums can have fans, some do not. And the restrictions are always changing depending on the league and location. But, what you and your staff do and league-wide to keep the fans engaged is amazing because, obviously I'm following what you do because, we're all proud of what you do and you do amazing work. But just also the Steelers, since, I'm a Steelers fan first and then Tampa Bay second. The gap closed since the Steelers postseason was one snap long. But just to keep the fans engaged is amazing because, they don't have that in-game experience to get super hype. So you're bringing basically that excitement and energy from the team to their homes on their phone, their tablets, whatever they're watching the content on.
Yeah, and I think that it drew more eyes, obviously, just because of exactly what you just said. It puts more emphasis on trying to create compelling content as well, because a fan, whatever they see, if they're a fan of a team, they like to see the team in the most raw form, whether that's helmets off stuff. That's what we're trying to capture a lot of. Doing stuff out in the community, obviously that changes with the current climate of things. So a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of this face-to-face is now over a computer. So whether that's surprising people with Super Bowl tickets or surprising a local high school with football equipment, all of those different things, that's compelling to almost put a spotlight on it and to share those stories. And it puts so much more emphasis on storytelling on the field, obviously, and then off the field, just get all those different angles to keep those fans engaged. So, in stadium, it's a little bit more difficult just because of the fact that nothing really changes. We're just trying to make it a unique experience, an experience that people want to come back to the stadium for. I think we were ranked number 1 in fan experience in stadium. And, that's a huge honor just because of the fact that with all this stuff going on, our level of excellence or level of expectation didn't, falter at all. We kept that up. If anything, we ramped it up and, we achieved those things. And, the success that we're achieving on the field is equal to that success that, we're achieving for the fans as well. So I'm going to keep saying it's sweet just because of how cool it is to be a part of it. But it's just getting better.
And a natural storyteller you are, because you segued right into my next topic of conversation with the success on the field and everything. As we're shooting this, it is 9 days away from the Super Bowl. Yeah. And you've had quite the journey the last week following the team to iconic, historic Lambeau Field. What was that experience like? I know my phone dropped whenever I saw you post a picture of you standing at Lambeau Field for the NFC Championship game. What was that like? First, as a fan, obviously of NFL, and then also as an employee of the Bucks.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, I grew up. My dad would try to take me to so many different stadiums. You know, I went to M&T in Baltimore. I went to Giant Stadium. I went to baseball stadiums all across the I guess the Northeast. And from the beginning, I was a Brett Favre fan. I was a Giants fan obviously before that. Now I'm a Bucks fan. But before, I was always like, I wanted to see Brett Favre in person. I wanted to go to Lambeau. I wanted to do all those things. My dad was like, hey, like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to go to Lambeau when you grow up. Maybe you'll be able to take me to Lambeau. And so when I told him that I was gonna be traveling to the game, his jaw dropped. He was like, that's so cool. Like, now you get to go there and you're getting paid to go there. Like, all those things. It was so cool. I would look up, and when you're talking about, as a fan of football, I would look up into the Ring of Honor. Most teams have that, and it's you see Brett Favre, you see Reggie White, you see Bart Starr, even going back way further than that, and to be on the same metaphor, be on the same field. A lot of things I'm sure have changed, but you are in that spot that those people were. Walking down this narrow hallway, the away team, just knowing all of the different people that I was walking in their footsteps, literally, and walking out onto the field. Did the Lambeau leap after the game. That was so cool. It's not as tall as I thought. I thought it was way taller, but I didn't have any gear on. I didn't have a lot of things weighing me down, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was nuts. It was so cool, and that was, believe it or not, that was the first game, the first NFL football game that I ever traveled to. I wasn't able to travel this entire season just because of with COVID and everything like that. I was the person that was supposed to stay back because I wasn't able to fly with the team. We only had one spot on the team plane to go, and I was gonna interview the coach every after every game on Monday. So if I flew commercial, I'd have to quarantine, so I wouldn't be able to do that. So I didn't get to travel this year. I didn't get to travel last year, and the first game I'm able to travel to is the NFC Championship game. It was, I got goosebumps, walking up to the stadium, had all the gear in my hands, and just looking up at, the mecca of sports, of football. It was unreal. And it's only, I am going to keep saying that. It's like the theme of today. But, then we get to go home, we win that trophy. The Larry O'Brien, not the Larry O'Brien.
That's NBA.
we win the trophy, and then, we pack up. The team goes back, and they're going home to get ready, and they're getting ready in their own homes to go to the Super Bowl, which is the stadium that they play in. The first time in NFL history. It's we couldn't hear that enough. You didn't want to hear that enough. Just of how cool that is, how legendary that is. Right in the beginning, right when we saw Tom Brady and signed Rob Gronkowski, signed all these guys, we were like, this would be insane if we get to host our own Super Bowl. And, fast forward, 8 months, I think we signed him in, April or late March, when we signed him, and it was just kind of like on a fast track. And now here we are in, the end of January, early February, and, it's happening.
Yeah, you can definitely tell if you look back, and you can see like just how the team was put together, and just like they're building a monster in Tampa Bay. And I was actually I kind of was expecting to see the George Halas Trophy on your shelf behind you for this interview, because we know how we both been fortunate to cover championships teams, and in that moment, sometimes the trophy just kind of, everyone's celebrating, it's just kind of sitting there, and whoever the last person out takes it and gets it back. So I was thinking maybe it was borrowed for a few days for some decorations in your house. But not only that, you touched on just the history, but for people that, like I said, this was about a week later, it wasn't just Lambeau Field for a championship game. It was Lambeau Field with snow on the ground, getting to there. I mean, the home of the Ice Bowl, like you said, all the great players. So that's, like I said, whenever I saw that picture of you that you posted at Lambeau Field, I dropped my phone. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I spent the entire game trying to find you on the sideline. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. But I did see you sent a video of some of the things that you shot and edited, which is insane. And like just the turnaround time on that was great for you.
Yeah, so we flew back. Our flight out of which was Appleton. It's a pretty small town. It seemed like it was about 40 minutes south of Green Bay, and we had a flight at 6:10 in the morning to Chicago, and then a hour layover or 2 hour layover in Chicago, and then we flew back to Tampa. So I got back to Tampa at 1. So on the flight, I was naming all of my clips, doing all those things. So when I got back, quickly was able to just go through and edit it. But normally our win videos are, an accompanying with, NFL film shots or anything like that. Well, NFL Films had 8 or 9 cameras, I want to say, probably more than that, even with top. So we get a few rolls of ground footage. So whether that's, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, anything like that, fourth quarter, and then top footage as well from the same type of thing. So all of that footage was probably a ridiculous amount of space. So I had no opportunity to even be able to do that. And I knew that going into the game. So I shot in mind that I wouldn't have that opportunity. So all of those shots, other than one shot, was mine in the video. And I knew that going into that, I was like, I want to be able to do it all myself and to do all those things. And my boss helped me out with one of the touchdown shots. I was blocked by the field goal post, so I couldn't get it. And that's just the nature of the game. But with all of those people on the sidelines, it made it a little bit more difficult to get some of those shots, just because you're kind of jockeying for position on the sideline. And even in a normal circumstance, there would probably even been more people. So my complaining doesn't really do much.
Well, where, for people at home that are watching this, because obviously, like I said, I follow what you do, but where can people see some of your work? Like, what social media platforms should they follow? What websites? How can they be Tampa Bay North supporters?
So like I said, on social media, I know we have a YouTube, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those. It's all just at Buccaneers, and Buccaneers.com as well. So most of the stuff is, I'm a small piece in the puzzle. We have a lot of great storytellers. We have a lot of great editors, producers and all those different things. So I just fit in where I can. So when you go to those sites, I probably haven't made, 85% of the stuff that's on there. But everybody pulls their own weight. So you can find it all on social media and our website as well.
And speaking of puzzles, and puzzle pieces. So we transitioned from the NFC Championship game last week. You fly back, and there's a giant puzzle staring you and your staff and everybody in Tampa in the face, because the Super Bowl's coming to town, and it probably would have been busy for you because, that's your stadium's hosting the Super Bowl. So no matter who's in there, that work's not going away. But the fact that, the home team is playing at home for the first time in Super Bowl history, looking ahead, like it says, we're shooting this, so we're about 9 days out from the Super Bowl. What is your work flow and your work situation going to look like up until about 9 o'clock when they hand the Lombardi Trophy off, probably to Tom Brady for the 10th time?
Yeah, no, I mean, hopefully that happens. So it's a little bit interesting. So because of the fact that it's the Super Bowl, it's normally in a neutral site. It's normally, it's never been, at home. It makes it a little bit more interesting and difficult in order to put on the game presentation. So I believe that the terminology that they're using is competitive equity. So it just has to be equal to both sides. So it's a very neutral everything. So we're not able to, when we score a touchdown, when we get into the red zone, we fire the cannons. I don't believe, and this is, me saying that on, 10:40 on a Friday, the week before the game. I don't believe that they're going to be firing the cannons. So that makes it a little bit, less of a home game. So everything else in the stadium, though, obviously everything's covered. Everything is, football, NFL stuff. So nothing will really change in that regard. And they won't be playing a lot of those same videos that they would play if it was a home game. So my workflow in terms of, I'm going to have to make so many more videos, that doesn't really change because the NFL media is going to be controlling a lot of that. I'm going over to the stadium not too often, just because of the fact that there's so many people over there that are actually doing a lot of stuff. I went over last week and shot some B-roll, some scenics of the stadium, whether that was signage. Yesterday I was there helping out with, they were painting the fields, painting the end zones. So we're getting some footage of that, just documenting all of this, just because of the bigness of this event, the historic, happening of this event. And so just trying to help out any way that I can. And, I'm working from home. I've been working from home for the past, 2.5 to 3 months. So I don't need to be there because I have that access here at my house. So that's a blessing in disguise. I have the same workstation that I do at work in my bedroom. So this is where I work. I look over to my left and I'm looking at my bed. It's probably only like 2.5 feet away. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to kind of disconnect because, you work in the same place that you're supposed to decompress at. And I know many people out there are probably going through that same thing. So just trying to adapt to that. But the workflow, everything is a little bit slower. I'm downloading gigabytes of footage, and that takes so much longer here than it would. The speeds at the office are, light speed. I can download yesterday I uploaded 300 gigabytes, which is a lot of footage. And I think that took 4 hours or something like that. If I did it from here, I got something that came up on my computer the other day when I tried to do that, and it said 28 days it was going to take. So yeah, it wasn't too good. I tried. It uploaded a little bit, not too much, but just the speeds. That's, I think, the biggest thing that slows me down and slows my workflow down quite a bit.
Well, like I say, it's so impressive and amazing that getting to cover the Super Bowl in the home stadium. And the other question I had as we're wrapping up here, when are you running for mayor of Tampa Bay? Because since you moved to Tampa, let's just look back. The Rays, get to the series. The Lightning win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. WrestleMania was supposed to be there. That was canceled because of COVID. The Super Bowl, and there's always a PGA Tour event. So Tiger will probably come in a couple weeks and win that. So, would you like to use this platform to announce a mayoral run maybe in like 2030?
I wish I was able to. And even our USL team, say like the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, they went to the finals as well. It's been crazy. I've been seeing so many things that are like, oh, it's Title Town USA, it's doing all that stuff. Like it's been nuts, and with COVID, I think it would have been a lot different, obviously, if COVID wasn't a thing. But it is, and we have to deal with it, and try to take advantage of the situation, and still have those quote unquote parades. I know when the Lightning came back with the cup, they had a huge celebration, but it was on the water. It was in boats, and so they did all those things, which I think would have been cooler. Anyways, like that was a unique experience. I didn't go to it. I only saw it on social media. But it was crazy. And now it's just going to keep rolling. And we have the support of all of Tampa Bay, which is awesome. But it's been a surreal experience. So, thus far, it's only I'm coming into my second full season with the Bucks. And to already say that, I can hold one of these hats and, a shirt and all that stuff is nuts. But yeah, it's crazy.
What I was just thinking, the Rays, Major League Baseball, NHL, usually in their championship game, it's home and away. So they're going to be playing a couple games at home no matter what. Yeah. NFL, this is the first time in 50-some years the home team has been played. Well, for hockey and baseball, both of those championships were at a neutral site. Yeah. And, the Buccaneers get to be home. So I hope that's another, a good omen going in the favor of Bucco Bruce and all the games.
Only cross our fingers. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Danny, it's been great talking to you. Like I said, we're up here at Cal. We're awfully proud of everything you're doing. And like I said, I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell everybody, because like I said, I feel like most of our audience that is going to be watching this has seen you grow up from a young freshman from the middle of Pennsylvania to now doing great things. So I wanted to catch up with you and give a chance and show off some of the bling from the championship game. Like I said, I was hoping that the trophy would make an appearance, but I
have a spot for it back there. It just didn't, it didn't work in the shot, all that stuff.
Well, how about this? We'll reschedule for 3 weeks. Maybe there'll be a bigger trophy.
That works. Yeah. Even if it's just a picture, I can just print it out and throw it back there. It'll happen.
Or if Tom Brady comes through holding the trophy, I'm sure that. I'm sure the Tampa Beeck trademark litigation still happens.
It's still working. Yeah, it's still in the process. Yeah. I mean, his is probably a little bit more expedited than the Tampa Beeck.
Well, you know what? We can get the Tampa Beeck T-shirts in the bookstore just down the hallway. I'll make a few phone calls. So first, get through the week and like I said, CUTV is pulling for the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, appreciate it very much.
Good luck, get through the week, and take care down there in Tampa. So
yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Danny, for being on, and we'll see you next time on another edition of A Conversation With. We'll talk to you later. So, after the credits scene, Danny, what are you gonna be doing for the actual Super Bowl?
I can't believe I forgot to mention this when we were talking about it live. But I'll be on the field, which is I just found that out yesterday, which is nuts. It's crazy. Talking about like the NFC Championship, that was sweet, but like Super Bowl, that's even sweeter.
And so what I'm going to try and do, I'm saying this on camera, so I try and do it. I'm going to get the shot of you running camera in the rain of Clarion. And then I'm going to put the picture of you at Lambeau Field, since, of course, we won't have the Super Bowl picture yet. It hasn't happened. So
yeah,